So Mariah and I, hey, there's my granddaughter Mariah. We went to go run an errand, and it's been really cold and rainy today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's cold and it's rainy, and we are at the Butterfly Palace. We just stopped here because the view is fantastic. We did not get to go into the Butterfly Palace yet. Let me turn you around here, because it's up on the hill. Oh, look, somebody's screaming. Somebody doesn't want to leave the Butterfly Palace. But look at the view. It's amazing up here. We're on top of a hill. We're going to go over. Let's go this way. The joys of being live. Somebody's kid started crying. Huh? No, it's Mariah. Huh? Isn't that fun? Yeah, okay. So we'll go over here because I'm going to show you this view. But I wanted to talk to you about, because we're on the top of a hill, and we thought this would be a good description of actual physical description of what we're going to be doing on part 3 today of our goal setting. Look at this view. Isn't this beautiful? So on part 3 of our goal setting today, we made it to the top of the hill. So we're going to be talking a little bit about creating energy, potential energy, and kinetic energy, and how you can use that science. Here's the Butterfly Palace. How you can use that science in your goal setting and how you work your goals. Mariah's dancing. On how you work your goals. So as you're working towards your goals right now, because you have already set your goal, you've considered your resources and what you're going to have to do differently, what you're going to have to think about differently, how you're going to have to maybe work differently, the things, what your resources, how you're going to have to be different to get to this new goal, because the goal is about achieving something new and you're not going to use the same resources. So we've talked about dreaming big and your resources. So today, let's talk about creating energy and with the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy and how that's going to help. So in your goal setting, have you ever considered or thought about, hey, I've set this goal. Ooh, the sun's right there. I have set this goal and you just want it to go straight. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't want there to be any bumps, hills and valleys. If this would go easily, it would go straight. I'm going to put a video here that explains what I'm trying to say between kinetic and potential energy. Oh, that was annoying. Should have muted my phone. So a lot of times we don't want there to be any hills and valleys in our goal setting. We don't want, in the thing we're trying to achieve, we want it to just go smoothly. We don't want to have to climb a hill, and we certainly don't want to be stuck down in a valley when things don't seem to be going well. But that really doesn't create enough energy. Did you know that potential energy in science shows that when you're going up a hill, you're creating potential energy. And when you get to the top of the hill and then go down the hill, you've got more energy and you're going to make more traction, because that turns into kinetic energy, which flows by itself. My son described it as a roller coaster. Have you ever been on a roller coaster, Mariah? So the potential energy is going up the hill. That's all the work.
I've never been on a roller coaster.
Never been on a roller coaster? We're going to have to take you on a roller coaster. So that's where all the work's at. And then when you get to the top of the hill and you start coming down, that's the kinetic energy. So how this plays out in goal setting in life is you're doing all this work to get up the hill. And it's a lot of work. And you're probably getting tired. And you're like, I just want to give up. And the next thing you know, you're at the top of the hill and you're like, woohoo, the view is great. This is awesome. And then you might be going down the hill. And it might even feel a little out of control. You might hit the bottom of the valley and be like, oh, this is awful. This isn't what I expected. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't going the way I thought it should go. But the next thing it's going to do, that energy that you're using going down the hill, which is nothing, is kinetic energy. That's going to push you up the next hill faster. And if you're just trying to go a straight level line to get to the end result of your goal, and you don't have any hills and valleys, you're actually not going to create enough momentum through potential energy and kinetic energy. You're not going to create enough momentum to keep you going and sustain the work that needs to be done. So I'm going to put a video link in here because I know I'm not probably describing it correctly. But if you just want a straight line to get to your goal, and you don't want it to get hard, you don't want to have to climb hills, and you want to avoid valleys, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, and it will take you longer to get to your goal. So if you're waiting for all of your life to be green lights and a straight flat road to get to your goal, it's going to take you longer in the long run. It will take you longer to get there. You'll get there, but it'll take you longer than if you just work hard and push through on those hills. That's potential energy. Enjoy the view at the top for a minute before the kinetic energy takes you down the hill. Wow, you hear that? Takes you down the hill and pushes you up faster the next hill, because that's what's going to happen is when that kinetic energy is pushing you down the hill, when you get to the next climb, because life is all about hilltops and valleys, and if you aren't climbing those hilltops and then riding down to the valley and then climbing up the next hilltop, then it's going to go so slow. So if you're going up and down and up and down, you're actually going to go faster to your goal. We want to avoid that, don't we? Usually in our mind, we want the quickest, easiest way to go. We want straight. So embrace the energy that it's going to take, and embrace the energy you're going to receive from climbing up that hill. Embrace that. Don't look as climbing up the hill. So climbing up the hill and your goal is things probably aren't going right. You probably feel like you're putting out a lot of effort and not seeing a lot of results. You're probably thinking everybody's saying no, nobody's supporting me in this. My family's not behind me. This isn't going to happen. It's not going the way I want. That's all that climbing up the hill. So as you're climbing up the hill, remember that's important. And then when you get to the top of the hill and you start seeing some success, keep working, because it's probably what might happen is you're going to get another dip and you might see another disappointment. Somebody at the house might get sick and you might be like, oh great, now I got to take a week off because somebody got sick. And so you have to take a week off, but guess what? You've built that energy going up the hill. So don't stop entirely what you're doing, because it's going to give you enough kinetic energy to push you up to potential energy for the next hill. So go up that next hill. Keep climbing those hills. Enjoy the ride down. When you're in the valley, just know it's for a minute, and you're going to be right back up the next hill, and embrace those hills, because that's where all the opportunity is going to come from. And if you do that often enough and climb enough hills, you're going to get to your result faster. So we're going to think about that. What could possibly be a hill? Let's go walk to the car, Mariah. What could possibly be a hill for you? Let's think about your family. Let's think about things that you've got going on. Because if you're going to change the way you think and the way you work, you probably are going to be changing and shaking up other people's lives at the same time. So if you're somebody that always has to do all the laundry and always has to cook all the dinner and always has to pick up the kids from soccer games and things like that, if you can't expect that to happen while you're working towards this goal and climbing up the hill, like if you're climbing up the hill and you're carrying all that extra baggage and you can't get to the top of the hill, then you probably need to look at, what do I need to do to delegate for now, so that I can use more of my energy to get up the hill. So check your resources as far as what do I have to do differently, not only within my own thinking and my working, but the jobs that I do, because you probably have more than one responsibility, right? So you want to check those.
I do.
Yeah, Mariah has responsibilities, don't you, babe?
Me staying alive and doing that dangerous stuff and making sure to take care of my sister.
Take care of her sister. Okay, she's a big sister. She's the oldest. So we want you to check those out first and make sure you're prepared. Like if you suddenly went from no customers to 100 customers, would you be in a position to have things in place to handle that? And if not, let's just consider, what do we need to do to get that in place? Okay, so don't forget, and valleys are good things. All right, I'm excited to hear from you, and let me know. Let me know what you think about hills and valleys. Have you ever thought about it that way before? Have you ever thought about how important and good the hill is, how important the push and the work is, and how good it is for you, and how much it's going to help you for the next hill, because it's going to push you. So don't avoid those. Don't avoid the hard work. Don't avoid the hard times. Don't look at it as disappointment if you don't see the results yet, because you may not be at the top of the hill and you're not at the next hill yet. So I'm going to put the video description in here. Go click on it. It's a scientist, it's a teacher, and he shows in his video how the straight line isn't as fast as the up and down. So watch his video on it, and I want you to think of you as the marble going up and down, getting to your goal this year. For 2022, we're coming for you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.